In the spring of 1946, the town of Texarkana, situated on the border between Texas and Arkansas, was terrorized by a series of brutal attacks by an unknown assailant, who became known as the Phantom Killer. Over the course of 10 weeks, the Phantom Killer killed 5 people and wounded 3 others before disappearing without a trace. The first attack occurred on February 22, when 29-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend Mary Jean Larry were parked on a secluded lover's lane. The killer approached the car wearing a white cloth over his head and carrying a gun. He forced the couple out of the car and onto the ground, where he beat them with the butt of his gun. Hollis managed to escape and run to a nearby house for help, while Larry was taken to the hospital with a skull fracture. The killer's escape from the scene of the crime is unknown. The police found a .32 caliber shell casing at the scene. The second attack occurred on March 24, when 17-year-old Paul Martin and his girlfriend Betty Jo Booker were parked on another lover's lane. The killer approached the car and ordered them out at gunpoint. He then forced them to walk into the woods, where he shot them both in the head. Martin died instantly, while Booker managed to crawl back to the road before dying of her wounds. The killer escaped on foot. The police found a .32 caliber shell casing at the scene. The third attack occurred on April 14, when 37-year-old Virgil Starks and his wife Katie were at home. The killer approached their house and knocked on the door, claiming to be in distress. When Virgil opened the door, the killer shot him in the face, killing him instantly. He then went into the house and attacked Katie, beating her severely with the butt of his gun. She managed to escape and run to a neighbor's house for help. The killer's escape from the scene of the crime is unknown. The police found a .22 caliber shell casing at the scene. The fourth attack occurred on April 27, when 15-year-old high school student Betty Jo Booker, no relation to the earlier victim, was walking home from a school function. The killer approached her and asked for a light, but then attacked her with a knife, stabbing her repeatedly. She managed to crawl to a nearby road before dying of her wounds. The killer's escape from the scene of the crime is unknown. The police found a bloody knife and a flashlight at the scene. The final attack occurred on May 3, when 37-year-old farmer Virgil Starks, no relation to the earlier victim, was in his barn. The killer approached him and shot him twice with a .22 rifle, killing him instantly. The killer then attacked Stark's wife, but she managed to escape and run to a neighbor's house for help. The killer's escape from the scene of the crime is unknown. The police found a .22 caliber shell casing at the scene. Despite a massive manhunt involving hundreds of law enforcement officers from Texas and Arkansas, the Phantom Killer was never caught. However, in 1948, a man named Yael Swinney was arrested for auto theft and confessed to being the Phantom Killer. However, his confession was deemed unreliable, and he was never charged with the murders. The identity of the Phantom Killer remains a mystery to this day.